was driving myself into poverty for years, overeating and spending money I didn't have. Alrighty, guys. I feel like I'm always hitting it with the alrighty, guys. I am challenging myself to do a sensitive subjects in 15 minutes. As you can see, I'm in my car. So y'all are going to help me talk through this in real time. I got my Bible up, okay? I got my Bible app up. So if y'all see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to try to do this in real time. Sensitive subject, me being sensitive right now. I'm going to describe a few characteristics of this thing. Then we're going to go into it, and then we're going to talk more about it. Sorry, I'm trying to spell the word first and foremost. My goodness. Okay, and now I'm pulling up. If you have the Holy Bible app, you know you can type in a word and it'll show you all the things. So, the characteristic of said thing is when you cannot stop yourself, or you don't have the discipline to not do something in excess, to not overindulge. So for the longest time, this thing for me was surrounded by food, and I'm saying it's still a constant daily struggle. With that being said, I also realized these impulses come from like shopping, and like impulsive buying, all these things. And it's like you want it in access. It's like never enough. So I'm going to start off here. Proverbs 23:19-21. First, from the Message Bible. Oh, listen, dear child, become wise. Point your life in the right direction. Don't drink too much wine and get drunk. Don't eat too much food and get fat. Drunks and gluttons will end up on Skid Row in a stupor and dressed in rags. Let's see what King James says about this as well. It's real quick. For King James, Proverbs 19:21. Hear thou, my son, and be wise, and guide thine heart in the way. Be not among wine bibbers, among righteous eaters. I don't even know what this word is. Eaters of flesh. For the drunkard and the glutton shall come to poverty, and drowsiness shall clothe a man with rags. I basically am talking strictly about gluttony. And this is so crazy because this is something that like was not even on my radar. There was some videos that I watched in the beginning of my faith journey, and it did resonate. Like it hit home hard when it was just talking about like not just overeating, but just overconsumption in general. And I was just like, yeah, that's me. Like I need to, get away from that. But, I think it's hitting me more now because when you grow up in a family where that's what people do, like, I think we always talk about like having the drunk uncle, the drunk daddy, or, people with addiction problems, but we don't talk about when your mama has a shopping addiction, or when people have these addictions that like aren't frowned upon, but like celebrated, and now, you give rich auntie and oh, you get whatever you want vibes, and everybody is celebrating that and celebrating you because you're known as the auntie or the mama who can get whatever they want on a credit card, put it in debt and all the things, and nobody says anything because you look like you live this lavish life. And I'm trying to bring it home and make it all make sense, because for me, if it just stopped and started with food, it'll be like, okay, this is just my problem with food, and it is what it is, and whatever. But no, I grew up in a household, especially being an only child, everything was mine. I benefited from having a parent who was like, oh, you can get whatever you want, blah, blah, blah. And we always laugh and talk about being spoiled. But now I'm realizing the implications that it's having on me today as a grown person. So God is trying to show me in this season of my life that He is all that I need. And I've said this before on other like episodes, but like basically like trying not to buy too many more clothes because I have so many clothes, and I made the comment like, oh, God been picking out my outfits and all that type of stuff. I've been making those comments because He's been constantly trying to show me like, bro, you don't have to go out there and buy things to feel good and buy things to feel whole. And I was like, why does He keep trying to show me this? Well, I recently went on a trip with my mom and she could not stop buying stuff. And I feel so bad because I don't want to blast her. Like this, I feel guilty that she is the example and the pinpoint of this sensitive subjects. And I mean, your parents always are. And that's another thing that frustrates me too. Like, I don't want to keep blaming my parents for every little thing. And so I used to always complain about the daddy issues that I had because of his overindulgence with like drugs and drinking and partying and all these type of stuff. But I didn't realize that I also have another parent that's an addict. Like, and that kills me because it's like gluttony, like who cares, blah, blah, blah. Well, the problem is it's affecting me. And normally if people have parents that are addicts or whatever, and especially when you're trying to follow Christ or whatever, you kind of put some distance there because you don't want to fall down certain, pathways, and you can love them and you can pray for them and other things from a distance. And it's so funny that we don't make gluttony seem like a big deal, but like when we were out, her impulsive buying and like being like, oh, I just get this, it was really like taking a toll on my psyche. And I know a lot of times we like to say like, oh, like you gotta be strong-minded and have discipline. It don't matter if you're around people, blah, blah, blah. But I'm too much strong in the faith. You know what I'm saying? When I say that, I mean like being heavily into it. And like, the thing is, if you are addicted to weed, like if you love smoking weed, if you love drinking weed, day 3 of you quitting, you can't go around all your homeboys and homegirls that smoke a pound a day. That people in the world know that. Like, people in the world would be like, yeah, no, you got to take a little break, blah, blah, blah. And so this showed me like, bro, I can't be around that type of behavior because I'm so prone to it. It's not even on no judgy. It's just like, I be quick to be like, oh, I can buy this, oh, I can do this, because it brings this sense of comfort. And I feel like crazy that I'm having this realization because my best friend told me this 4 years ago. I remember we was on the phone and she was about to buy something. She was like, oh, I got to chill. And I'm like, girl, just get what you want. Like, buy your thing. And she was like, no. She was like, I'm trying to gain a sense of control over my life because I don't feel control. And I was like, I don't think that's how that works. Like, just buy the thing. Like, it's not a big deal. And she was like, no. When you don't feel like you have control of other areas in your life, like things aren't going the way you want them to, the easiest thing to do is purchase something. Because you got the money in your bank account, you can just go real quick and now you have this sense of like, oh, I gained control back. I just want this light to go away. Oh, I gained control back over my life because I was able to press buy, add to cart, woo woo woo. And it's such a false sense of control. So now I want to go more psychological into it as well. Because I was like, scripture is amazing and I love it. And it's like, and the King James Version saying poverty, it really hit me because it's like, oh, like I was driving myself into poverty for years, overeating and spending money I didn't have. That was normal to me. That didn't mean nothing to me. And, but to watch your parent do it, it makes you feel crazier. Cause you're like, I'm not even tripping off of me. I'm not even looking like, oh, this is affecting me. I mean, I'm tripping off of that. But the main thing I keep thinking is like, oh, she don't even know that this. Like I said, I wanted to bring up some reading materials. So the dopamine loop, shopping as a feel-good hit. When a person anticipates buying something, especially something new, shiny, or status elevating, dopamine is released, creating a feeling of excitement and reward. According to McElroy, et 1994, shopping behaviors are often used as a way to self-soothe or regulate negative emotions, leading to temporary mood elevation. However, just like with drug use or gambling, over time, the brain begins to crave the anticipation more than the actual object, fueling a cycle of desire, purchase, temporary high, crash, desire again. Increased dopaminergic activity is associated with the impulsive and compulsive symptoms observed in compulsive buyers. Not feeling like you have enough, scarcity mindset, and emotional deprivation. This relates to attachment theory and early unmet emotional needs. If someone didn't feel emotionally safe or valued growing up, they might turn to external things like clothes, makeup, or gadgets to fill the internal void. This is from Faber and Ogwin, 1992. And shopping can give a person the illusion of control, especially in environments where other parts of their life feel uncertain or chaotic. Relationships, body image, work, mental health. The act of choosing, buying, and possessing provides a temporary sense of agency and autonomy. It's a safe decision that delivers an immediate outcome. However, this control is illusionary. The person isn't actually resolving deeper emotional issues, but numbing them. This aligns with theories of emotional regulation dysfunction, where people use shopping to cope and with anxiety, loneliness, boredom, sadness, and all the things. And so when I brought this to my mom's attention, I was like, you might got a shopping addiction, girl. Like, you're an impulsive buyer. She was like, no, because I don't feel bad after I buy stuff. Like, I don't feel guilty after I buy stuff. And I'm like, no. That doesn't always have to be a symptom. Like, you are already justifying why you need the thing. So in your mind, you justified it, so it's not a big deal. But like with the clothes and all that type of stuff, it's been hard for me because the feeling of all that, like all that described, like the temporary illusion of control or all these things, like I get that with food. Like the anticipation of, oh, I'm hungry, oh, I want to. So like God calls me to fast. And it's been getting harder and harder going back and forth to Atlanta, being around my mom more, because it's like that spirit gets on you. I don't know if gluttony is like a spirit or if it's just a discipline issue or what. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But it's like being around that, it influences me. And because I've grown up my whole life, I'm finding it harder to combat it. So I have this case of water in my car that I haven't took out because I'm just a girl. And y'all can hear the case maybe. But I got this case of water. I forget about the case of water often when I'm driving in the car. Like, I just forget about the case of water. And a lot of times, I leave my house without getting a bottle of water. So I end up driving around, and I go to places thinking, like, oh, I hope they got bottled water. So I'm, like, hoping that, like, they can fulfill this need. And then my car shakes a little bit, and I look back, and I'm like, oh, I had the case of water. I have a whole case. I have 48 bottles of water in the back of my car this whole time. And God revealed that to me today. He was just like, that's the analogy, metaphor, whatever the proper word is for your life. You be walking around life with a case of water. I am the everlasting water, the everlasting food, the everlasting, all these things of your life. You be going around your life with cases of water, going into places thirsty, trying to get whatever you can get from them, trying to get more water, trying to get more food, trying to get all these things. Because it feels good to be able to go and just be like, oh, okay, I can pick up this new shiny case of water. Oh, it's colder. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. But this is the funny part. It's not even me trying to do the comparison. My problem is I keep forgetting I have the water. It's not even that I'm trying to get new water for real. I mean, once I get in my hand, I'm like, oh, it is kind of warm, whatever. But then I remember, it's like, at least remember you got the water, dog. Remember that God can provide all these things. And you don't need that stuff. You don't need that stuff to feel whole, to feel good. You don't need that dopamine hit when you make that purchase. Because it's an illusion. So yeah, that's my take on gluttony. I don't know if I'm making any sense at all. Like, that's just been on my heart. And I couldn't put words to it because it was like, I don't want to play the blame game. I do feel empathetic for people who either don't even know that they're doing this, or like, whether it's food, whether it's shopping, the new J's, like, we do this in so many aspects of our lives. When you talk about like overconsumption and stuff like that, like we do this so much. But whenever you're able to get the thing, we get rewarded for it. Versus if your thing is a crack pipe, everybody's like, oh man, not crack. If you're an abuser of alcohol, oh, she fell out the wagon again. Nigga, every time you go to Amazon and get that thing you don't need, you fell off the wagon. And of course, I'm not talking about toilet paper, soap. I'm not talking about the necessities and all that type of stuff. I'm talking about when you convince yourself that you need certain things after you done just purchase. You thinking about your next purchase while you purchasing. That's how I know it's gluttony. How I know it's gluttony is I'm thinking about my next meal as I'm consuming the fried chicken. There's been times, I probably did this yesterday. There's been times where I'm eating yes, it happened yesterday. I went and got Sbarro's pizza and it wasn't that good. And all I kept thinking was, I can't wait to get the Buffalo Wild Wings chicken to go with this. 10-piece. You know it's gluttony when you haven't even been satiated or satisfied but with the thing that you're doing at the moment, and you're thinking about the next moment, the next high you can get from that fried chicken and or that Birkin bag. And I'm saying Birkin bag, I ain't never had a Birkin bag, but the Coach purse. That's all I got. I only got one sensitive subject for today.